We'll learn data types in the context of databases. Now, data type is simply type of the data. When the data is stored in the database, it must be classified appropriately. When you classify it appropriately means numbers have to be stored differently than a string of alphabets. Boolean values, which means true or false, need much less space than a blob, which is a binary large object. And when tables are created in the database, all of its columns must have fixed data type. Now we have seen creation of table in the data creation language, but we haven't seen the example of it. When you create a table, you need to specify columns along with the type of the column. So we are slowly building the blocks for creating a table. We'll look at the type one by one. Int is a type that is described to store numbers. Example is 42. Float is a data type for decimal numbers, which means decimal point or fractions. Varchar bracket capital N is defined or is used to define string with variable number of characters with maximum of n characters. Text type is used to store strings with a fixed maximum of 65,535 characters. Examples, I don't want to write string that is 65,000 long, but you get the point. Date time is a type to describe date and time without a time zone. Timestamp is the data type when you want to store something in the column that is a date along with the time zone and the time, of course. Example would be when you want to store the last login of the user. Enum is the type that allows a set of values. For example, to store gender, you could define male comma female, and the type blob, short for binary large object, is used to store binary files. So in MySQL, you can also store images. Exercise time. What data types should be used to store a Boolean value? We'll wait 10 seconds. If you guessed enum, then you would be correct, because Boolean value can only have true and false. Both values, only two values are allowed. Essence is simple. MySQL data types are used to define what type of values the columns of the table in the database contain. Without the data types, columns cannot exist. Every column must be defined with a specific data type.